Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, Ashtanga Yoga. Arjuna's question, and Krishna is giving answer. We read up to 40. 40 words. Krishna is giving answer. Arjuna's question was, if someone is unsuccessful, what will happen to him? Krishna is saying, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with degradation, destruction, either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. So now, 41. Two types of. First, Krishna said, there are no destruction of bhakti. But if somebody do 50% or somebody does 99%, result will be difficult. First 41, if less punya, and 42 verse will be if lot of punya, then what will happen? Prappapunna kritam lokan ushitta shashwati shama shuchinam simatange yoga vrashta vijaya. Prabhupada, this Abhijayate, Prabhupada Sanjayate. Only Prabhupada lecture, Prabhupada normally. Prappapunna kitan lokan ushita shasha, shuchinam srimatange yogavrashta sanjayate. Same meaning. Sanjayate takes birth, samjayate. In the same way, Prabhupada also, janma karma chamedi evo jo veti tattva. Prabhupada chamne, jo janati tattva. Same meaning. Sanjayate or Abhijayate. Prappo after achieving. Punno kritam of those who performed pious activities. Lokan. Correct. Ushitta after dwelling. Shashwati many. Samah years. Shuchinam of the pious. Srimatam of the prosperous. Shuchinam pious. Srimatam prosperous. For Prabhupada, it translating how is difficult. Sri Matam, Sri means Lakshmi Devi, means Oishwarya, opulence. Matam, with Sri Matam means with opulence. That is Prabhupada translate of the prosperous, Sri Matam. Gehe in the house. Yoga Bhrashta, one who has fallen from the path of self-realization. Abhijayate takes his birth. The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. So unsuccessful many years takes birth in a family of righteous people or into a family of research. Righteous people, Shuchina, and Srimatam into a family of rich aristocracy. The unsuccessful yogi are divided into two classes. One is fallen after very little progress, and one is fallen after long practice of yoga. You can see in cricket match, half century and century is separately calculated. If 99 did not come into sense, half century. But 50 come in the category of half century. 99 will not come into category of century, only 100. So here also, but only two. Yes, there is not like that. The algorithm. This two means 1% and 49 is same. No, there is also difference, but in general, two. One is fallen after little progress, and one is fallen after long practice of yoga. The yogi who falls after a short period of practice goes to the higher planets, where pious living entities are allowed to enter. After prolonged life there, one is sent back again to this planet to take back the family of a righteous Brahman, Vaishnava, or aristocratic merchants. Because so clearly, Shuchinam means Brahman, Vaishnava family, righteous Shuchinam. And Srimatam, aristocratic, here proves merchants. Normally, merchant has money, looking with them. Job holder is they are not actually rich man. The servant, aristocratic merchants. The real purpose of yoga practice is to achieve the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness. As explained in the last verse of this chapter. But those who do not preserve to such an extent and who fail because of material allurements are allowed by the grace of the Lord to make full utilization of their material propensities. And after that, they are given opportunities to live prosperous lives in righteous or aristocratic families. Those who are born in such families may take advantage of the facilities and try to elevate themselves to full Krishna consciousness. Now, here with little progress and long practice of yoga, what will happen to them? Athava yoginam evo kule bhavati jimatam etadhi durlabhataram loke janma jyotisha. Athava means or. Yogina of learned transcendentalist. Kule, yogin evo, certain kule in the family. Bhavati, to become means takes part. The mata of those who are endowed with great wisdom. Dhi means buddhi, intelligence. Mata means samanmita, is endowed with Sri Matam, Dhi Matam, Buddhi Matam, endowed with Matam. Those who are endowed with great wisdom, Dhi Matam. Etat, this, he certainly. Durlabhataram, very rare. Durlabhataram. Loke, in this word. Janma, birth. Jat, that is idrisham, like this. Or, if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world. Etadvi durlabhatam lokejan. This type of birth is very, very rare. Prabhupada has given example. His and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati example. Birth in a family of yogis or transcendentalists, those with great wisdom, is praised herein because the child born in such a family receives a spiritual impetus from the very beginning of his life. It is especially the case in the Acharya or Goswami families. Such families are very learned and devoted by tradition and training, and thus they become spiritual masters. In India, there are many such Acharya families, but they have now degenerated due to insufficient education and training. But by the grace of the Lord, there are still families that foster transcendentalists generation after generation. It is certainly very fortunate to take birth in such families. Fortunately, both our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj, and our humble self had the opportunity to take birth in such families. By the grace of the Lord, and both of us were trained in the devotional service of the Lord from the very beginning of our lives. Later on, we met by the order of the transcendental system. So nice. What is the benefit of taking birth in such family? Because a doctor's son, from the childhood, he can measure temperature, he can make some medicine, it's like doing some bandage. From the very beginning, he got the chance to learn from his father. Tatratang buddhi sangyogam labhate purvadihikam. Jatote cha tato yo sansiddhu purnandana. Tato, thereupon, tato means after that, by taking birth in such a family. Tam, that buddhi sangyogam, revival of consciousness. Labhate, gains purvadihikam, from the previous body. Jatote, he endeavors. Cha, also, tato, thereafter, bhuyo, again, sansiddhu, for perfection, Gurunandana, Hosana, Guru, Arjuna. On taking such a birth, he receives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success, O son of Guru. King Bharat, who took his third birth in the family of a good Brahmana, is an example of good birth for the revival of previous transcendental consciousness. King Bharat was the emperor of the world, and since his time, this planet has been known among the demigods as Bharatvarsha. Formerly, it was known as Ilavrita-varsha. The emperor, at an early age, retired from spiritual perfection, but failed to achieve success. In his next life, he took birth in the family of a good Brahmana. And was known as Jara Bharat because he always remained secluded and did not talk to anyone. Here, you may say, oh, why Prabhupada has told in the middle he was took dear life. No need of unnecessarily bringing that point. Because Prabhupada is not going to tell a story here. He wants to give the message. Sometimes, by telling the story, we extend the class long. But for doing that, attention divert. The point we want to establish that may divert. So, taking dear birth, by telling that, attention may divert, but we would want to establish how one get birth in a righteous family. And later on, he was discovered as the greatest transcendentalist by King Rahul. From his life, it is understood that transcendental endeavors or the practice of yoga never go in vain. By the grace of the Lord, the transcendentalist gets repeated opportunities for complete perfection in Krishna consciousness. And what will you get? The habit of a previous life. It will come. पूर्व अभ्यासन तेनैव ह्रियते हि अवश्य अपि स जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्मति वर्तते पूर्व अभ्यासन पूर्व previous अभ्यासन by the practice then by that ever certainly ह्रियते is attracted he surely avasya automatically api also saw he jigyashu inquisitive api even yogas about yoga shabda brahma ritualistic principles of scriptures pativartate transcends by virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. We have seen in our life those who have taken birth in devotee's family. Since his childhood, it is very easy for him to accept Krishna consciousness. Like for them, giving up tea, giving up meat, fish, onion, garlic, is not a difficult thing. But those who are not taken by that families, it is very difficult for them to give up this type of thing. Advanced yogis are not very much attracted to the rituals of the scriptures, but they automatically become attracted to the yoga principles, which can elevate them to complete Krishna consciousness, the highest yoga perfection. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, such disregard of Vedic rituals by the advanced transcendentalists is explained as follows. In Bhagavatam, very nice verse. Oh, Vato Shapochato Goriya. Wow. Hi, Ella. Shapochato Goriya. Dog eaters also. Very fortunate. Who Jat Jibbagre Bhartate Namatubhavam. In whose tongue Bhartate dance. O Lord, your name dances. Why? Tepus tapuste juhu shushnaradja brahmanuchur namo ginanti jete. O my Lord, persons who chant the holy names of the Lordship are far, far advanced in spiritual life, even if born in the families of dog eaters. Shapacha. Such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kinds of austerities and sacrifices. They put opposite, bathed in all sacred places, and finished all scripture studies. The famous example of this was presented by Lord Chaitanya, who accepted Thakur Haridas as one of his most important disciples. Although Thakur Haridas happened to take his birth in a Muslim family, he was elevated to the post of Namacharya by Lord Chaitanya due to his rigidly attended principles of chanting 300,000 holy name of the Lord daily. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And Because he chanted the holy name of the Lord constantly, it is understood that in his previous life he must have passed through all the ritualistic methods of the Vedas, known as Shabda Brahma Ativartate. Unless, therefore, one is purified, one cannot take to the principles of Krishna consciousness or become engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna. প্রযত্নাৎ যত মানস্তু যোগী সংসিদ্ধ কিলবিষা অনেক জন্ম সংসিদ্ধাস তত জাতি পারাঙ্গতি প্রযত্নাৎ প্রযত্নাৎ from by rigid practice যত মানব endeavoring to and yogi such a transcendentalist Sangshuddha washed up. Shuddha, Sangshuddha, completely washed up. Kilvisha of all of whose sins. Aneko janma Sangsiddha, Aneko janma. After many janma birth, Sangsiddha having achieved perfection. Tato, after that, thereafter, Jati attains Parangatim, the highest destination. Translation. And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, they ultimately achieving perfection after many births of practice. He attains the supreme goal. Purpose. A person born in a particularly righteous, aristocratic, or sacred family becomes conscious of his favorable condition for executing yoga practice. With determination, there he begins his unfinished task. Thus, he completely cleanses himself of all material contamination. When he is finally free from all contaminations, he attains the supreme perfection, means Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the perfect stage of being freed from all contamination. This is confirmed in Bhagavad. Jesham tu antogatam papam jananam punna karmana te dvanda mohane mukta bhajante mam dirabhata. Jesham tu antogata papam. Antogata papam. Antogata means almost finished. Antogata papam. After many births of executing pious activities, when one is completely free from antogata means not almost completely antogata. After many births of executing pious activities, when one is completely freed from all contaminations and from all illusory dualities, one becomes engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. That is the benefit of taking birth in a righteous or pious family. Prabhupada told, you the American boys has taken birth a rich country. That means you are unsuccessful yogi. And the mistake for which you have come back again, don't do the same mistake. Because previous life is unsuccessful. This time should become successful. No coming back again. Don't take chance. Whatever facilities we are getting, we are not lacking anything. have taken birth after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not after Chaitanya, ours after Srila Prabhupada making ISKCON. Not after making ISKCON. When ISKCON is flourished throughout the world, the best branding name. That time, in Bharatvarsha, in young age, what more you want? What we are lacking? So, and if we take another chance, another lifetime, that time we have to practice again. If we get all this chance, again we have to practice. Why not practice now? And at the same time, there is no guarantee that we will get this type of facilities next life. So we are in best situated in a best position. We should take full advantage of all facilities, and one should make our life successful. Hare Krishna. Okay, Gaurang is raised hand.
Krishna Maharaj, my question is that in one shloka, Krishna mentioned Shruchina, and in another one, he mentioned Dhimatam. So here, Srila Prabhupada for Shruchina, he have written here Brahmana or Vaishnava family. But in Dhimatam also, he is indicating in Vaishnava family. So I want to clear that more, that what is the difference between Shruchina and Dhimatam.
Like, you have to understand there is grading, like 1% Shuchi and more. Brahman also, all Brahman are not in equal level. All Vaishnavas are not equal level. So many Vaishnavas are there. So Bhakti Prema family and our family is the same. Not the same. All are Vaishnavas. So they are grading. Etat vidurlabam taram lokajat. This very rare. Okay, Barsha.
Maharaj, Thank you, Maharaj, for this wonderful class. Maharaj, I wanted to ask that it was written that the yogi who falls after a short period of practice goes to higher planets. So my question is that why is there so much delay for their facility to restart their bhakti again, as they even started little bhakti, but they started bhakti. So why there is so much delay that they have to go to higher planets for such a long time, and then they have to again come for in some Vaishnava family, or why is there so much delay? I wanted to ask.
That is 1%, 2%, little practice also. They are going to heaven. Just imagine how much good is. For little practice, 1%, 2%, it will go to heaven. You have to give some, what is the prize? Prize is going to heaven. But at the percentage of the pious activities, that long period you will stay and again come down. But by doing 1%, how can you expect? And if we don't get any percentage, one time, oh, I have done that pious activities. Why I have only 5 days? Why not 5 years? You will want that.
I wanted to ask that for practicing bhakti, they are why Krishna is sending them to heaven? Why not giving the higher taste, like again giving them devotional service and very quickly? Why so much he's giving sending them to the heaven and for prolonged time? I wanted to ask.
Yeah, 1% bhakti and 99% bhakti will get same result. No. And question may come, oh, okay, if we take birth in a poor family, maybe is a good opportunity to become devotee. It's not always like that. In a poor family, you take birth, you will everybody be devotee, not like that. So it is not that taking birth in a heaven and good family, it is a curse. Maybe after coming ISKCON, we are thinking in such a way. That is also good. Okay, Gulshan.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Pranam. Maharaj, my question is that like we do little bhakti and go to the heavenly planet. So is that benediction or something like curse? Because there also the demigods are doing sense gratification. So we are wasting their time a
Yes.
lot of here.
It is a blessing for the materialistic people, curse for the devotee. Both are. When you come in Krishna consciousness, that is thinking in such a way. But if you come in Krishna consciousness, you will bring blessing. But after coming here, a curse. Same thing. This verse is composed by Prabodhananda Saraswati. He said, Koivallo Narakayate. To a devotee, liberation is like hell. Tridashpur Akash Pushpa. Heavenly pleasure is like flower in the sky. Not only that, Vidhi Mahendradishya Kitaya. Indra, Brahma post like insect. Everybody is trying for becoming Indra and Brahma, and after coming ISKCON, or no, why should Brahma be like insect? Why you are thinking in such way? Yogi, Muni, Rishis are trying to get the post of Brahma and Indra, and few days Pankos come in ISKCON, and it is, oh, they are like insects. That is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jam Karano Puruno Katakha Vaibhavatam. This is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy devotees are thinking the post of Brahma and Indra like insect, and liberation like hell. That is the wonderful gift of Chaitanya. Just imagine what Srila Prabhupada has given to us. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Mahima Kadashi.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.